So, you're looking for a new camera or maybe a killer combo to really set off your videography into 2025. And yes, I do use these cameras for all my surf videos, all my videos, all my technology videos, vlogs, try-ons, gear, etc. And they are the glorious Sony ZV-E1 in white and the tried true battle tested and now classic Sony A7S III. And I sound great and I look great per usual. We're actually streaming with the iPhone XS Max and it's doing a pretty great job. Usually I'm streaming with the Sony ZV-E1, which is amazing, especially if you attach the Ulanzi fan right here. Then you can stream and film surf videos all day outside till the cows come home. But if it's very hot, opt for the A7S III, which I film for my surf videos pretty much as a solo shot, but it's a big secret. I film it wide, and then I Ken Burns the whole thing. And it actually does a really great job because outside is tons of light. This is the best sensor ever. So it does a super good job of keeping it in nice planed focus. So I up the f-stop, get everything in focus, and then I can zoom in and out of the video when I'm surfing. But let's go through 5 reasons why these are the two best cameras right now for you or for anyone going into making film and content creation into 2025. And also these are on sale right now on Cyber Monday, I'm seeing, for pretty great deals on Amazon. It's $1,900 without any lenses for the ZV-1, which is pretty sick. I actually got this for $2,200 with the kit lens, which is on sale as well. So it's pretty much 15% off. You can even kind of scoop the insurance plan through Asurion, which I would recommend. They fixed the drone back in the day. These cameras, you probably want to maybe get a team in insurance just to be super safe. But and the Sony A7S III right now is actually like the better deal just because this camera is like insanely expensive. But this is actually on sale for, I think it was $3,199. So yeah, 3,198. It's usually 3,500, so it's $300 off. Let's see if I can even get it on the screen. Oh, there we go. So yeah, so it's 3,198. It's $300 off, and it's a pretty banging deal too. Why I say these are like a killer combo is because separately they're both amazing, but when you own them both, I know it's a pretty penny, but that is when you can really be the ultimate solo content creator. And I love how my RGB light is literally changing the entire white balance of the entire movie, but we're going to keep rolling because we'll do it live. We'll do it live. But 5 reasons why these two are the killer combo, your best bet for solo content creation coming up in 2025. Grab them on the Black Friday's past, but the Cyber Monday, and these deals actually pop up a good amount. This $300 off on the A7S III is like a pretty great deal. I mean, this camera has not even went down in value in like the 5 years it's been out. It came out 2020. It's still essentially the same exact price. Actually went up $1. Used to be 3,498, and now it's 3,499, and now it's 3,198. So let's go through the 5 reasons, why these are the best, your best bet as a combo solo creator. Reason number 1 is low light performance. These both have the same sensor in them. So this thing behind the lens is a sensor, and these are full frame sensors, which means they're going to do a pretty good job capturing light in low light environments, which a low light environment is anywhere indoors. You're gonna think low light means like you're in a movie theater, you're in a dark alleyway, whatever. But no, low light with cameras means you're just not in a well lit studio room. Even right now, I have a pretty much a key light and then a fill light and a little kind of back colored light. So I am pretty well lit, but even this is like medium good light. I mean, film sets, those lights are bright. So that's where full frame really comes in handy. And that's where the A7S3 magical sensor really comes in handy, because what's special about the A7S3 sensor, and also these have the same sensor. So these pretty much are the same camera in terms of the image quality you're getting out of it. There are some nuances there, but what makes them the same is they have the same sensor, which is very naughty, that part right there. So they both have the same that thing. And what makes that thing so great in low light is it is a 4K sensor, but it only has 12 megabits. So, or megapixels. So the megapixels with usually these higher end cameras are larger, maybe 30, maybe 28. Even the A7 IV, I think, has 24. The A7 III had 24, I believe. So usually you go up, but what these do is they actually go down in their megapixels. And what that does is it kind of creates these larger megapixels on the sensor. And so the sensor can kind of let more light hit each of the pixels. Hence, it's not as like grainy in the low light because it's kind of not broken up as much into each pixel. Now that's you need to look deeper into that, but that is why these are so great in low light, because they have the 12 MP sensor megapixels. Even like an iPad, this iPad camera is only 12 MPs. So this has the same megapixels. Am I even saying the right word? Megapixels? Yeah, I think so. Megapixels. Yeah, 12.1. Okay, 0.1. But so you think that actually means, well, that's not good. That's not that many that's pretty small compared to like 50 or 70 or some on these super high end, really large resolution shots or cameras. But what that kind of does is it allows it to work better in low light. Now, it actually does mean that it's going to work better for video in low light. These do take good still shots, but that's where the higher MPs comes in handy. Is you can crop in, you can go up and down, and a one still image is different than multiple still images to make a 4K picture. So that's kind of a non-super scientific way of why the 4K smaller MPs does work better. But the low light performance is literally like the best in class. It's the best of all the Sony. And then compared to all the other cameras, it's also probably the best with these full frame mirrorless type dillies. Full frame is going to be better in low light than APS-C or Micro Four Thirds or any of these smaller sensors. That's why GoPro kind of sucks for low light, because it's a really small sensor. That's why even your phone isn't the best in low light. The iPhone 15 is pretty great, but like this iPad, it's not that great in low light. So that is the number one reason why it's like it's the best camera for you, because most stuff we're shooting is low light, and these are low light beasts. Reason number two why both make for the best combo for you as a filmmaker is you can match them in post, which means if you shoot with both of these cameras, you can match them together in your edit, and it's going to look nice and perfect. If you've ever tried to shoot with two different cameras and then you went to your editing lab to edit, you're going to notice they actually look very different. And then when you try to start editing them together, you're going to realize that you have entered into a Freddy Krueger type nightmare. Trying to match two cameras that one aren't the same, or even if they're the same brand and they're just different sensors, it's actually hilariously nuanced in the colors, the tones, the saturation, etc. And it's a lot more difficult than you think. I've went to film school. I've sat and edited for hours and hours and days and years and years. Even and there's like AI tools, there's matching, there's color matching, there's all these like things to help. And even after all that, it's still almost impossible to get two cameras to match perfectly in your video edit. That is why, to avoid a lot of headache, you would just get the same camera. So why not just get two ZV-E1s or two A7S IIIs? Well, they actually do a little bit of certain things better, and that's why you can actually get both of these, and that creates an even better ecosystem than just having two of one of these. And that's going to be in the next couple posts. But the beauty of having both is, again, matching in post. And I cannot stress how much of a headache you're going to avoid trying to, number one, at least get two of the same camera systems. Like if you're going to get a Sony ZV-E1 and a ZV-E10 or a FX30 or even like a ZV-1. Again, there is going to be still a good amount of color difference where you're going to have a headache. Even matching these two, when they're perfectly white balance and everything is perfect, there is still the like teeniest of difference. I mean, 0.01%. I mean, not that small, but like 1% difference. It's because there's even nuances in like how the processors are affected by white balance, small shifts in focus, which could kind of like make one area darker or brighter, even exposure. So many little things that, like, if you really, again, want it, that most film shoots are going to shoot with, most podcasts are going to shoot with all A7S IIIs or all ZV-1s, they're all the same. But you can get away with this because they have the same sensor. The sensor is what produces the image. So these having the same sensor, if you shoot in the same white balance, you're going to get 99.9% the same. And I've never had too many issues with that. What happens is you use different lenses, because even different lenses can actually create slight different color and different look. So even these are both Tamrons. So when I really want to get like super matchy, I make sure I'm using a Tamron and a Tamron, and both 2.8. Try to have them like as close as you can, because say this was a Sony lens on here and then this was a Tamron lens, they're actually going to look pretty different. And then even though it's the same camera, the lens characteristics are going to have different, a little bit different color, maybe different sharpness, and that's going to create a little bit of an issue. And I've even had shoots there where I use my Sony kit lens that comes with this, which is an awesome lens actually, because it's really small, super sharp, and if you're, especially if you're outdoors, it does really well because it's so small, the camera's small, and I really do like the image a lot. I probably even like the colors a little bit more than the Tamrons, but the Tamrons do let more light in. They're 2.8 and they're not variable. A variable f-stop means it changes as the focal length changes, which means it's actually going to be a little less good in low light. But also just the Sony color system of their lenses is a little different. So really your best bet is that the same lenses and the same camera manufacturer. These have the same sensor, so you're getting pretty much as close as you can get, and you have the same lenses manufacturer. That's even better. Now, number 3, why this is the best combo. And now we're going to kind of move why one works great for one thing and one works great for the other. The A7S III, for me, has kind of become like my outside professional workhorse. Like when I need to have a shoot go amazing and I can't mess around, the A7S III is what I grab. A couple reasons. The EVF, look into this thing. It's an IMAX movie. You can really nail your focus in the EVF. Your exposure, your focus and exposure are the two main things that are always tricky by looking at a back screen. So this EVF which the ZV-E1 does not have, no EVF, actually is a humongous game changer when you're outside and when you're just like really having to nail focus from far away. If you're outside and you're shooting surfing or you're shooting like a bird from far away and you try to use a little back screen to like focus on something, you're going to be in a world of pain. That's the one reason why this is actually isn't as good when I'm like really running and gunning and I need to nail focus, because it's a little trickier without the EVF. One workaround is you set up like color peaking, which means there's going to be peaking, which is lines of red, white, blue, or yellow that you can put on the screen, and everything in red will be in focus or blue will be in focus. This is actually a great tip for cameras where you're not sure if it's in focus, but you can set the color peaking to red. And I'll even show you real quick because I think I have it on right now. So if you can see this, well, obviously the screen's really bright, but you can kind of see how it's, no, you can't see that at all. But really right now what's in focus is kind of red on the screen. So it kind of like gives you a color indication of what's in focus, and it's super handy. And really for a camera like this, I can't even go without the color peaking anymore because it just lets you know it's in focus as opposed to you just guessing what's in focus, because you can't see anything on that little screen. The A7S III, the EVF is like I said, it's an IMAX movie. It's like looking into 25K. It's like the best EVF in the world, actually. Even the newest A1 Mark II has the same EVF. So they haven't changed this EVF. When this came out, this was the best. It's still the best. You can look in here and you can see what's in focus. But then you add that with the color peaking, and then you really lock in the focus. So that makes this like a killer combo, with this being the outside workhorse. We have someone in the chat. Let's see what they have to say here. So Napper S3 says, with the recent update is F. What do you mean is F? S3. Oh, did you see my A7S3 brick video probably? No, you gotta update the A7S3 to 3.02 firmware to fix it all, I reckon. If you've updated your A7S3 at all, just go for the master newest update. It's version, I wrote it in the chat just now, it's version 3.02. That's going to be your best bet to try to save face here. What's really funny is the ZV-E1 has an update now. Came out like a couple weeks ago. And I'm really scared to update it, because I'm scared, because that's what happened with the A7S III. So if you've updated, I would say go. Napper is a little sad, I know. It's sad, but it'll be okay. We're going to make through it. And I think if you update it all the way, you keep updating it, you will come on the other side and life will be okay again, I think. Maybe don't update your ZV-E1 yet. But that's another reason that I know it's expensive, but it's always great to have two cameras, because if one hits the, breaks, you update it, it becomes a brick. You at least have something when they call, they need you, it's an important gig, or they're going to hire Timmy down the street. So you got to be ready with that backup. You can rent from Lens Rentals. It's a great company. So actually nowadays it's not as important, but still, say you're on set. These days I like to have two cameras on set even. I don't want to go, even though my A7S III is like let's say I'm on the beach and I'm filming surfing and it's like I have a bag with sand and all that. I'm going to bring both of these just to have two camera coverage, or if something happens, I have a backup. So the A7S III is like pretty much the pro run and gun outdoors. I'm going on a film set. There's famous people. Got to lock focus. Got to get it filmed. Camera can't overheat. I don't want to have a fan on here. Plug in a brick. It can run forever. So outdoors, goated. Reason number 5. So the ZV-E1 now. This is your indoors live stream / some vlog go-to. This has become my new live stream camera. Right now I'm using the iPhone XS Max, but this thing actually surprised me a lot live streaming because the image quality is like slamming. It's freaking amazing. And it's set up to live stream. I literally still just live stream straight into the YouTube native app, which I know is very, very naughty. And I need to be using OBS or a better system. But it looks so good and it's actually works so easily. And I still haven't figured out my other system as well. So I just keep using native YouTube. And I can literally plug a USB-C into this Mac Studio right here, USB-C into here, put the Ulanzi fan on here, and I can stream 4K 30. And it looks like I wasn't even live streaming. It looks like I recorded a video and uploaded the video. Like it's extremely impressive. It's unbelievable. And the A7S III actually can't live stream like that. It needs a capture card, it needs a little bit of a workaround. This, it literally, right when you plug in the USB-C into the ZV-E1, it asks you USB-C live streaming. You're like, oh yeah, sure, and you hit yes. Like it's ready. It knows what you want to do. And then you couple that with its improved autofocus over the A7S III, which is hilarious to say because the A7S III already has like the best autofocus in the whole camera game, but this is actually better because it has the AI chip. And the AI chip, I've noticed it really doesn't lose you. Like it does a really good job. It locks on your eye, and when you're live streaming, it's amazing. Like throw them peaking and just do the eye tracking and you're live streaming, have the fan on, and I haven't seen like a better image. I mean, most people that I see on the YouTubes are still live streaming with the A7S III or something, or the FX3, but they're using a capture card, a little bit more workaround. I think the ZV-E1 image is actually better than the A7S III by like a minuscule, and it's just because of the AI features are enhancing the image a teeny tiny bit. I mean, it's the same sensor. Mathematically, it should be the same. But to me, the image looks like a little better for some reason. Maybe the focus is a little sharper, the white balance is a little better or something. But this becomes like your best live stream buddy. And you can yap it up away. Just make sure you get the Ulanzi fan. Put it right here. I'm going to grab it really quick. That's very important. All right, so this Ulanzi fan. I just made another video about this. Have this plugged in. You could do this too. I do this. You plug that like that. USB-C to a power brick. This is plugged into the computer, so it's charging via USB-C. And then this thing it'll run for a long time. I still don't think I've had it overheat when the fan's been running on it. One time it overheated, but I think the fan died. And now I can't remember exactly if the fan did die or not, but if the fan is running and you're live streaming with USB-C, it will not overheat because you can only stream in 4K 30 as well. One thing that might make it overheat is if you turn the app on and you try doing like app monitoring or live streaming, it's just like, oh, I don't know. But still, if you put it on number 2, it has a couple settings. It has 1, 2, 3. Put it on the high setting and just let her rip. And it will not fall off. So really the fan, the Ulanzi fan, it's pretty much a necessity. Like the camera does overheat, but with the Ulanzi fan, it doesn't overheat. So it's kind of like buying a lens. Like I think you have to buy the fan. Once you get used to it, it's not even a pain in the butt anymore. It's kind of fun. It becomes one of your favorite little things, grabbing the Ulanzi fan. It's funny. I was pretty anti-Ulanzi fan. I almost bailed because I was like, I don't want to have to use the fan every time I film. But the image is so great, and it's so much fun to use. And a quick side tip, the white color is pretty bad AA-SS. It's really fun. I mean, just look on the table, them side by side, which looks nicer. The ZV-E1. It's really cool looking. It's like candy. So they're the killer combo. One's your outside workhorse, one's your inside vlog, live stream powerhouse. All right, Number 5, the fifth reason here. This is the best image you can get for this price point in the whole Sony ecosystem. And I'll even go as far as I think out of all of the cameras right now, I think this sensor looks better than Fuji, unfortunately, yeah, for sure. Nikon, yes. Panasonic, the newest ones, maybe the autofocus is better. Canon's the only one where I would be like, maybe I do like the Canon more. But there's like heaps of issues with the Canons, and I think they have come full circle and they're better now. But you cannot beat the image quality you get with the sensor in this camera. Like, it really is. It still blows me away. Like, I can put a picture on the screen of a thing I took a picture of the other day. Here, so this is a screenshot of the 4K video. So this is a hamburger. So that's literally, it's not a picture. This is a screen capture of the ZV-E1, filming in dynamic range, hand holding the camera, looking at using this lens. It's not even a macro lens. Literally just went to the burger, went like that, and was filming 4K. This is a screen grab from there. And I didn't even use any professional lights. I just literally made the white balance to where it was matching the crappy overhead lights. And this is the image you get. It's like, this could be on a restaurant menu, and I shot it in horrible, like, overhead indoor light, handheld with dynamic state. So the images and the sensors, like, out of this, it's still unbeatable. And until they come out, and right now all they're really doing is coming out with cameras that have like the FX30 sensor, or they have this sensor, or they have the A7 IV sensor. Like, there still isn't, even the A1 sensor, the A1 Mark II is the A1 Mark I sensor, I'm pretty sure. So sensor wise, there hasn't been much changes, and this sensor is still like super goated. And I think the best image that like you get out of any camera right now is out of the ZV-E1 and the A7S III. You can't beat it with, like, it is expensive, but if you're really serious about this stuff, I'm so happy to have this combo. I actually almost got the A7C II instead of the ZV-E1. One big reason was the overheating. I was very scared, but once I got used to Ulanzi fan and I looked at the images side by side, I noticed that the ZV-E1 image was, I think, way better than the A7C II. Heaps better. The A7C II has the EVF. That was one of the main reasons, and it has higher MP, so it's more of a photo hybrid camera in reality. But I looked at the images and I was like, the ZV-E1, that looks better. Like, that's a better looking video. And then I was like, and also I'm going to match it more perfectly with the A7S III. So, all right, guys, that's the 5 reasons why these are, like, this is the killer combo for you for 2025, and try to scoop it on Cyber Monday. The deals are popping. These deals actually are pretty common. Like, this price they have on Cyber Monday, pretty much 10 to 15% off. When I bought it, it was that, and it seems to happen a lot. So if you're feeling froggy, you can leap, but I'll keep the links in the description. I appreciate everyone for helping me out. Please smash like, hit subscribe. I do a lot of videos about cameras. I'm also a surfer. I do surf reviews and technology about surfing. So I try to make this channel a little bit of both of that. I always appreciate all my surf folks, all my camera folks. You guys are really helped me a lot, and thanks for helping me continue to make this content, and I will keep it up. And a couple bonus categories. Bonus round 1, ZV-E1, dynamic stave. So ZV-E1 has a feature called dynamic stability, which is like an active stability. It's only in the ZV-E1, and it basically crops in a little bit more. I think it's a 30% crop from 0 though, and even active stave is 10%. I'm pretty sure. So it is a little bit of a crop. It's kind of a lot of a crop, but really it's the best stability out there. Especially if you're just planning on like holding the camera like this, kind of doing this kind of stuff, and vlogging. That's handheld vlogging with the monopod, or just with your hand. That's where it really is great. I wouldn't say it's the best at doing this kind of stuff, because it almost works in a way of like framing stabilization. I do need to get better at though, but like it likes when you're doing maybe in and outs and just holding. But really it's the best when you're holding it and you're moving, or you're just like kind of hand holding. Because even if you hand hold with no stave, there's tons of stuff going on. You try to hand holding a shot and not moving, it's pretty difficult. So that dynamic stave is like a really big game changer. So that is the one bonus round tip. And then I'm going to say the second bonus round tip is just because these have the same E mount and they're both full frame, you can just use same lenses on them. So like you can basically, all lenses you buy are going to work for this camera and they're going to work for this camera and they're going to work the same. They're going to be the same. You're going to put it on there and it's going to be relatively the same image. So that's really nice when you don't have to buy different lenses, obviously, for different camera systems, or even if you had an APC and a full frame camera, that difference can be a little bit of a headache sometimes because there's going to be some differences in the focal length when you go back and forth. So because these are both full frame and they both have the E mount, they're going to have lenses galore. They can switch back and forth, and whichever one you need, you put on here or you put on here. So that's like a really sweet bonus round tip. And besides that, guys, I think we're about at the 30-minute mark. It's been another good live stream. I appreciate everyone for tuning in to another Hero's Journey live stream. Definitely scoop yourself. If you can't afford both, I'd say if you're more of a in-the-side live streamer, ZV-E1. If you like need to like shoot professional videos for people, A7S III. If you're gonna get two cameras eventually, these are the two to get. Combine them. Life is great. Maybe throw in an action cam for your action abilities when you don't want to bring a big camera, and so I have the GoPro Hero 11. That trifecta for me, especially outdoors, I can pretty much use that as a C cam, and I'm really set and feeling great. So that is it. Smash subscribe. Let me know if you have either of these cameras. Till next time, peace.